Well, sweet. So, listen, I want to thank you all for being here tonight. This is an incredibly special night, I think, for all of us. And it's a great night for the state of Missouri. I just received a phone call from Judy Baker conceding, and she was very gracious. She was very gracious, so I appreciate that phone call. I want to thank, first of all, my family, my wife Jamie. My son Stephen over here, my daughters, Sophia and Olivia. My mom and my dad, my two sisters. My mother-in-law, thank you very much, Jamie. Great save, great save. And I want to thank my always winning campaign team, Matt, Nick, Drew, Christian, Jay, Jake, Steve, Hunter, Justin, Ben, Tripp, Ian, Jarrett, and so many others who helped us along the way. I also want to thank Senator Talent for being here tonight and for that very thoughtful introduction. Missouri is very lucky to have a statesman in town. And I want to thank all of you. There are so many familiar faces in the room tonight, people who've supported me, people that I went to grade school with, people I went to college with, law school with, people who've supported me in my political career, from alderman to state senate, and now here tonight. So thank you for believing in me. I appreciate it. Thank you. And this victory really is possible because of you. And I also want to make sure that we give thanks to the Almighty God who made tonight possible for all of us. I have traveled tens of thousands of miles across our great state, and we've got the miles on that F-150 to prove it. And getting around this great state has reaffirmed my belief in the people of Missouri. I truly believe that we have now the same determination in this state and optimism in this state that brought my family to mid-Missouri 5 generations ago. They came here with the hope of a better life and the ability to pursue happiness, which, as we all know, was in the original mission statement of this country, the Declaration of Independence, that we were granted by God, not by government, but the right to life, liberty, and to pursue happiness. It is that same determination that guided my grandfather after returning from World War II to start a small butcher shop on St. Charles Rock Road with nothing more than an 8th grade education and a dream. It's that same determination that led my father, while working as a butcher, to go to night school, to get his degree, to work for Anheuser-Busch for 30 years, 7 days a week in the midnight shift. It's that same determination that I had growing up in a middle-class household in North St. Louis County to become the first person in my family to go to college right out of high school, to go to law school, to serve my city, to serve my county in the state senate, and now our great state as your state treasurer. While Missourians are working harder than ever to support themselves and their families, the state and federal government have repeatedly failed to keep their end of the bargain.
We love you, Smitty!
This is the first election in a generation where all the statewide offices are open seats, which means in January there'll be a new governor, lieutenant governor, secretary of state, attorney general, and of course state treasurer. In fact, I am only the 3rd Republican state treasurer since Prohibition. Woo! I believe that the victories across our state tonight represent a changing of the guard, an ushering of a new generation of leaders. I ran for state treasurer as a next generation conservative But that generational change comes with significant responsibility. It requires proving yourself to generations past and earning the respect of younger generations. Growing up and still today, my political hero was Jack Kemp, who was a happy warrior in the conservative movement.
Yeah,
He commanded a message of restoring growth, prosperity, and hope that is often missing today in public life. How many times have you heard over the last month from your friends and family that they just wanted this election over? I believe Jack Kemp left us a guidebook, a roadmap, if you will, on how we can communicate in a positive way what a conservative reform agenda can mean for people's lives. Our agenda starts with big ideas and big policies, not divisive rhetoric that alienates people from the political process. We often talk about tax cuts, and I authored 2 of the largest tax cuts in the history of our state.
Woo!
But what it's really about is about those families who will benefit from those tax cuts. It's about more take-home pay, empowering individuals to lead a life that they want to live, to pursue happiness. Education reform should be put in the context not of passing a bill, but of helping a young person break generations of cycles of poverty, and allowing more of our brothers and sisters to fully achieve the American dream. Our policies are about creating economic opportunities for everyone, including the poor, so that they're not dependent on government, but rather can pursue their version of happiness and a life of independence and fulfillment. Like him, I've worked to do these things in the state Senate, taking challenges head on with all interested parties and delivering positive outcomes and solutions. I mentioned those 2 largest tax cuts that we passed with my colleagues. Those are very important for families. I led the charge to bring municipal court reform after Ferguson, introduced the Earned Income Tax Credit to bring tax relief to low-income families. Each of these, and also, and I want to point out, passed reforms to help families with special needs.
Yes.
Each of these ideas, help build a broader and a greater coalition, new people to the conservative movement. If we can do this effectively, we can grow the Republican Party, and victories that we're experiencing tonight are just the beginning. As you know, my inspiration for public service and being an advocate comes from my son, Stephen, who's with us here tonight. Stephen was born with a rare genetic condition. Stephen is on the autism spectrum. Stephen has epilepsy, and Stephen is nonverbal. He has taught me a lot and is a constant reminder of what's really important in life. Stephen has given our family amazing gifts and only wants love and acceptance in return. When I think of my son and when I think of other individuals with special needs, big hearts is what comes to mind. They see the beauty in life and focus on the positive. There is a lesson there for all of us. It's been my honor to work with special needs advocates in the Missouri legislature and now look forward to continuing that advocacy on a statewide platform. We need to redouble our efforts to make sure they have the tools and resources necessary to live fulfilling lives and reach their full potential, whatever that is. As treasurer, I pledge to continue to be an advocate for you and to leverage that platform as state treasurer in delivering positive outcomes for Missouri families. As your treasurer, we'll invest less in Wall Street and more in Main Street. We will make certain that no Missouri tax dollars go to any company doing business with state sponsors of terrorism. We will promote investments in college savings to make higher ed more affordable and attainable for all. And we will advance a financial literacy effort to help more people recognize the American dream through financial independence. And we will promote job creation and economic growth so that together we can make Missouri a more welcoming place for all families, all businesses of all sizes, a state that serves as a model for economic growth initiatives and reforms that have eluded us in the past. This is a unique moment in Missouri history. What's happening tonight has never happened in the history of our state. We have never had supermajorities in this sweep. It's never happened. So we have a tremendous opportunity in this moment to transform our state, to be a leader. The campaign is over, but this isn't the finish line. Our call to service and action is in fact a starting block, the beginning of a movement not confined to the restrictive policies of the past, but a movement that sets Missouri apart. I am optimistic about Missouri's future, and together I believe we can ensure a greater path to prosperity for our kids and our grandkids. Thank you for being here. God bless you.